Tonight, a lasting memorial to those killed and grieving at Grenfell. An architect has been chosen with community approval, although their design won't be ready until 2027, 10 years after the tragedy.
It was really important that we select the right people who have not only the technical abilities, but are able to link, engage, and respect the Grenfell community.
Also ahead, rapper Getz is in court to hear he'll face more charges of dangerous driving. From real life to small screen, we speak to the star of the new drama about Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe's 6-year imprisonment in Iran. Good evening. It's a responsibility that we do not take lightly. The words from London-based architects Free House, who today won the approval of families of bereaved and survivors of Grenfell to design the site's future memorial. Representatives from the Grenfell community will be involved in the process. A final design is expected to be confirmed in the middle of 2027. That is a decade on from the fire that took 72 lives. Rags Martel reports.
On top of the tower, they're working. Slowly, floor by floor, Grenfell is being taken down. But on the ground, there's movement towards a memorial. After 8.5 years, architects have been chosen to design it.
Today marks a milestone. It was really important that we select the right people who have not only the technical abilities, but are able to link, engage, and respect the Grenfell community and work together to translate a vision for this memorial.
Once demolished, the memorial will be built on the former site of the tower. The London studio Free House have been chosen to build it. Its previous work includes the Africa Centre in Southwark, as well as libraries in Ealing. The practice chosen for its ability to listen and engage with the community and build something lasting for the 72 people who died here.
It is a final resting place of those loved ones, so it's very important to have their life celebrated, remembered, and for the generations to come, this is something everyone can look back and tell their story. That's what happened here.
And building the memorial is going to be an extremely slow process. The first images of a design aren't expected until 2027, a decade after the fire, and it's not expected to be completed until 2029 at the earliest, 12 years on.
However long it takes, the point is they need to go as fast as they can, but they also need to go as slowly as they need to make sure that the community is brought along. This is not an architect designing for a client. This is co-design between a traumatized community and a multidisciplinary team. So it's tricky, it's difficult, and it's going to take whatever time it needs to take, but it's got to be right.
Yes, it has taken a lot, but we are happy that it has taken that long because we need it to be thorough. We can't make any mistakes. This memorial needs to be a fitting one.
Piece by piece, Grenfell is slowly coming down. A memorial will eventually rise out of this, but that's a distant dream, still years away. Rags Martel, ITV News.
The Metropolitan Police have tonight appealed for information after a man was charged with murdering 2 women and raping a third. Olivia Guthrie joins me now. Olivia, some details emerging on this evening.
Yes, well, these proceedings are active, so there is a limit to what I can tell you. But 40-year-old Simon Levy, who's facing charges over the murder of Cheryl Wilkins in Tottenham in August and charges of the rape, grievous bodily harm and suffocation of another woman back in January, has now been charged for the murder of another woman on the Aylesbury estate in March.
Following an investigation by the Metropolitan Police, the Crown Prosecution Service has made the decision to prosecute Simon Levy for the murder of Carmenza Valencia Trujillo, a 54-year-old woman from Colombia. Carmenza Valencia Trujillo was found dead in the stairwell of a building on Thurlow Road in Southwark on the 17th of March 2025.
Well, police fear the scale of Levy's offending may be wider. They're urging anyone with any information about these cases to come forward, but also any other information about other potential incidents that may be yet to be reported.
The investigation into Simon Levy is one of great complexity. We are working closely with partners across relevant boroughs, including Harrogate and Southwark. We encourage reporting and raise awareness of the support we can provide to victim survivors.
Well, police are urging anyone with any information to contact them directly or anonymously via Crime Stoppers. Now, Simon Levy will appear at Westminster Magistrates Court charged with Carl Menzer's murder tomorrow. OK, Olivia, thank you. The family of a woman who was kidnapped for ransom and killed more than 5 decades ago believe her body is buried in a garden in Bethnal Green. Muriel Mackay's family have been at the High Court this morning trying to get an order to allow them to search the garden for her remains. The hunt for her body has spanned decades, with most of the efforts focused on a farm in Hertfordshire. But a recent tip-off suggests her body was moved to East London. A decision is expected tomorrow. A murder investigation has been launched after a 62-year-old man was assaulted in south-east London and died 2 days later in hospital. Michael Burrows from Lambeth was found with a head injury in Southwark last Friday and died the following day. No arrests have been made. The award-winning rapper Getz is facing further charges of dangerous driving on October the 18th. He was already facing charges in relation to a hit-and-run collision on the same day. The grime artist's real name, Justin Clark Samuel, allegedly failed to stop after his BMW hit 20-year-old Yubin Tamang in north-east London. Cafo Pata is at the Old Bailey for us, and Caf, so the wait goes on to see how Getz will plead.
It does indeed, Yasmin. We were expecting the plea today, but that hasn't happened. He is, of course, a big name. Famous London rapper, Mobo award-winning artist, recently starred in the Netflix show Supercell. His friends and family were both in court today, along with some fans and even, Yasmin, a couple of YouTubers. There was also the family of Yubin Tamang, the 20-year-old who died in the alleged hit and run. They had flown all the way from Nepal to London to watch the hearing. The one person who wasn't physically present in court was Getz himself. He appeared via video link from Pentonville Prison and confirmed his name, Justin Clark Samuel. And then, Yasmin, came the moment we were all waiting for. How's he going to plead, guilty or not guilty? Short answer is neither. The reason being is that this plea hearing has now been adjourned to the 8th of December, so still a bit of time to go. There were, however, like you said, 2 further charges relating to dangerous driving, one before the alleged hit and run and one afterwards. But like I said, the plea hearing is now on the 8th of December, so still a few more weeks to go until we find out how Getz pleads on all 3 counts. OK, Kath, thank you. Now, it's the most common cancer in men, and former Prime Minister David Cameron, now Lord Cameron, has become the latest high-profile figure to announce that he'd been diagnosed with prostate cancer. He says he's been successfully treated and he's now throwing his support behind a new trial in Ealing, announced just a few days ago, which will test the most promising screening techniques. Well, in London, more than 7,000 men are diagnosed with the disease every year, but 1 in 6 of these men get their diagnosis when it's too late to be cured. And sadly, 950 men in the capital die from prostate cancer every year. Well, we can talk now to Chiara Di Biasi, who is from Prostate Cancer UK. Thank you so much for joining us, Chiara. David Cameron said he only went to get tested after his wife urged him to. Why is it that some men still aren't coming forward when they've got concerns?
Well, there are a couple of reasons, actually. The main one is, of course, we don't yet have a national screening programme, and a lot of people assume that they're going to have some sort of invitation. This is, as you've said, the most commonly diagnosed cancer, so men quite understandably think that they'll be invited for some kind of test. We also know that there's lots of myths and misinformation about prostate cancer. Men are very worried about having perhaps a more intimate examination. And if there are no symptoms present, the really big piece of news is that the first test is a simple blood test. But in the meantime, we're urging all men to complete the Prostate Cancer UK online risk checker to read all about that blood test.
Chiara, you talked about that targeted screening programme, and I know that that's something that David Cameron really wants to see happen, and you do too, don't you?
That's right. Prostate Cancer UK were the only charity to ask the National Screening Committee to review the evidence for targeted screening 3 years ago now, and we're going to finally hear the outcome of that evidential review this week. But that was to review a targeted screening programme for black men over the age of 45, that's black African and black Caribbean men, and also for men like Sir Chris Hoy, who have a family history of prostate cancer. They are the two groups that we refer to as highest risk, and they are the groups that we really hope will get a positive step towards a targeted screening programme. But of course, ultimately, Prostate Cancer UK want a screening programme that's safe for all men, which is the trial that you referenced in the opening remarks is called the Transform trial. It's been led by Prostate Cancer UK and started last week. So men in West London will start to receive invitations from their GP to join this once-in-a-generation trial that's been run by Prostate Cancer UK to give us the evidence we need for screening for all men.
Now, London has a lot of different communities. Does that perhaps present a challenge? Is there more stigma perhaps in some groups than others?
I've been working in cancer for a very long time, and there are lots of different nuances around different cultures and different approaches and beliefs around cancer. But again, we work very, very closely. We try to be legitimate advocates with the black community and are doing a huge amount of work in London and across the UK with black communities. We've just launched a Black Health Equity strategy, and we're funding over £1 million worth of real-world evidence, just trying to answer some of the big questions, specifically around the propensity for black men to get prostate cancer, and why they're likely to get it younger and why they're twice as likely to die from the disease. So we're trying really hard to build that trust, especially so that if men get invited to Transform, that they accept the invitation and they show up to be part of this this really, really important trial.
Yes. Chiara Di Bersi from Prostate Cancer UK, really good to speak to you. Thank you ever so much. OK, still to come on the programme.
Charles Dickens would think of Christmas Carol with a hip-hop twist.
I mean, do you know, I think Charles would be down. I think he'd want to come.
Sally looks in on rehearsals for Ebony Scrooge. But first, next year will be 10 years since Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe made the trip to Iran that would essentially rob her of the next 6 years of her life. She was 37 when she was detained there, accused of plotting to topple the government. She was 43 when she was finally released after a long-running diplomatic dispute. Now her ordeal has been turned into a TV drama series called Prisoner 951, with Nargis Rashidi playing Nazanin. She told us why this was such an important story to tell. Here's Anila Dami.
It was a name that dominated headlines. Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe was held hostage while her husband fought for her freedom. A reality now turned into a TV series. Prisoner 951 follows the story of the British-Iranian citizen who was imprisoned by the Iranian state for 6 years. A role actress Nargis Rashidi says she did extensive research for.
I screamed very loudly. I was very, very happy. And then super, super happy. And then I knew, oh my God, what have I done? And then the whole pressure came in, you know.
Nazanin's arrest in Tehran and the ordeal she and her husband Richard faced after captured the world's attention.
I would sit in meditation and go through, you know, the emotional journey in meditation to kind of really zone in. And you get the chance to kind of like, at least for a moment, to walk with them in their shoes. And that is something that's super important to me.
It was a story of twists and turns and stops and starts, which we followed.
It might be almost over, but there's enough of it might not be.
Nazanin had served a 5-year term of spying charges. Then she was detained again on a charge of spreading propaganda against the system and banned from leaving Iran for a year. She strongly denied all the charges against her. Her husband, Richard Ratcliffe, protested, held a hunger strike and campaigned until the end.
There was something that shocked me is like what the child had been going through, like how horrific that must have been for their little daughter. And then what really struck me is how connected they were during these 6 years, Nazanin and Richard, and what a bond they had.
I'm so pleased she's back home with me, that she came home to us.
The 4-part series is now available to watch ahead of a book release by the couple.
I'm not going to live for the rest of my life with a grudge.
As we continue to follow a story of heartbreak and hope. Anila Dami, ITV News.
Now, he's the man of the moment, but there is one thing that makes Zohran Mamdani, the newly elected mayor of New York, lose composure. A message from Arsenal legend Ian Wright.
Hi Zohran, how you doing? Ian Wright here.
What?
I just want to say a massive congratulations on what you've achieved. The real work starts now, but God willing, you can achieve everything that you have set out to achieve.
The lifelong Arsenal fan was shown the video during an appearance on an American YouTube chat show. Wright congratulated Mamdani on his achievements and urged him to back Gunners boss Mikel Arteta to deliver the club's first Premier League trophy in more than 2 decades. He looks pleased, doesn't he? Right, my guest tonight is a London artist who has been smashing out the hits since she was a teenager. Ella Eyre is loved for her soulful voice and well known for her collaborations with the likes of Rudimental, DJ Fresh and Sigala. Now, a decade since the release of her last album comes Everything in Time, released this week. Before we speak to her about it, let's remind ourselves of her Oh, Ella, it's so lovely to see you.
Oh, thank you.
What's it like seeing all of your classics like bunched together? Is it a bit?
Do you know what? It's really cool, actually.
Yeah.
It's really nice because I got into music at such a young age,
Yeah, you
and
did.
at 31, I'm able to look back and be really proud of everything that I've achieved, and with happiness.
You have achieved so much. Lots of collabs there. Your new single, Hell Yeah, that's all you, isn't it? It's so confident, such a strong sound. I think we're just going to hear a little bit, actually.
Oh.
So strong. Do you love that one?
I love that one, especially because that was the first song that I wrote for the album, and it's been a long time. I think it's been about 5 years since I really wrote that song. So it's cool that it's finally out and it's being received in the way that it has been.
See, probably like those of us not in the know, we don't realise that, do we? How long it takes for these things to come out into the world.
Well, especially because it has been a long time coming with my album anyway. You know, I've been signed to 2 labels since then, and it has been a bit of like an up and down journey with being able to make an album, because when I started music, the landscape changed so drastically. Like Spotify and streaming services came in really, really early into my career, and then labels were not really sure whether to make albums anymore. So it was really important for me to sort of take back the narrative and the control and make it myself.
You say it's been a long time, hasn't it? Has it been about 10 years, hasn't it?
It's been 10 years since my first album. Yeah, I would say I've been making this album for about 4 or 5 years, and I released my first song from this album about 2 years ago, but I'd say a lot of that is also my procrastination. I'm the queen of starting things and not finishing them, but I finished it. It's done. It's here.
You're talking to someone who knows exactly what you mean. You've been through so much, haven't you? You had surgery on your vocal cords. I mean, that was a really big thing for you, wasn't it?
It was massive. Obviously, like, you know, I've been making music since I was 16 years old, and it's basically all I know. So when I did the surgery, and after I wasn't allowed to speak for a month, I wasn't allowed to cry or laugh, because that's also really detrimental to the recovery. And like, those are natural, you know, emotional responses to what was going on. Maybe not laughing, but but yeah. So then after the first month of not being able to speak at all, not a word, my speech therapist said, "Oh, let's just see where you're at. Say, hey, how are you?" And I said, and nothing came out. And so then it was 6 months from that point on of full rehab that got me back to singing and being able to do shows again. So it's really special. There's a song on my album called Lover Man, and the first intro of that song is the very first vocal that I did after my surgery. So I've kept it exactly as it was because it's a really lovely moment for me to remember.
Really special, really special. You're an independent artist now, aren't you? And what's that like? Does that change the way you feel about how you're working?
I think it makes me so much more engaged. You know, it's definitely tougher. That definitely has its challenges in terms of like your financial freedom, but it just makes me so much more determined. And I'm excited. And I love this album. It has really taught. The reason why it's called Everything in Time is because I've been through so much in the last 10 years, and I'm a very impatient person. I'm an Aries, but it has really taught me, especially with my vocal surgery, to like learn that you can't control everything, and actually to find peace and joy in the process, because everything's going to take its time. It's going to take the time that it's going to take, and you can't control that. And so, yeah, it's about just enjoying life whilst you're waiting for things to happen.
What a big lesson. We've only got a little bit of time left, but you're doing a candlelight tour, aren't you?
Yeah. I've never done like a fully acoustic show before. A lot of people over the years have said to me how much they just love my acoustic versions of my song. And I thought, what better way to celebrate my album by stripping it all back, taking away all the bells and whistles and pyros and outfit changes and just singing. You know, we're going to be surrounded by thousands of candles and beautiful cathedral-type venues, and it's going to be really special.
Oh, it sounds gorgeous. Yeah. Ella, thank you.
Thank you.
That sounds nice, doesn't it, Sal?
It does.
Candlelight tour.
I just think it sounds absolutely gorgeous, although I'm still stuck on the fact that you couldn't sing and you...
Speak, nothing.
Oh, my God. Speak, yes. Can you imagine if that happened to us?
Can you imagine you, Sal, not being able to speak?
I think there might be some people out there who wish that would happen to me. Oh, I'm so glad you're back to normal. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to talk to you more about that in a moment. But at the moment, the weather, well, it's still a little bit chilly. It's going to warm up a bit. It's going to go a bit grotty. So make the most of tomorrow and most of Wednesday as well. Let's take a little look. Here we go.
Come rain or shine, Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
Hello again and a very good evening to you. Hope you had a lovely start to the week. Chiswick House looking gorgeous over the weekend, bit grayer today. So we've got quite a cool start to the week. It gets a little bit milder midweek. A few showers tonight, but quite nice and dry and bright tomorrow. And at the moment, Wednesday's not looking too bad either. We've got a little ridge of high pressure tomorrow, and it stays quite fine into Wednesday at the moment, but you can see that front moves through later and further fronts as we end the working week. So the weather does become a bit more unsettled, but I did mention milder. So let's take a look at the detail. Here you go. So a few showers just sinking their way south tonight and overnight. Hopefully you won't catch them. You'll be inside, but you can see quite a lot of clear skies by the end of the night, and those temperatures taking a bit of a tumble, quite a chilly end to the night. We're finishing off those low single figures, turning quite breezy overnight too. So tomorrow will feel quite cold. Your sunrise is at 7:30, but nice and bright. There's some sunshine around tomorrow and a bit of cloud coming and going, but we're looking at quite a decent day. Still quite cool. The wind's easing off a touch, but highs of just 6 to 8 degrees, similar to today. But if you do get caught in that breeze, you will find it feeling really quite fresh. And then into the evening, you can see a few showers just out to the east. Hopefully we'll avoid most of those, but not 100% guaranteed. And you can see that frost spreading its way under any clear skies as it goes eastward. So a chilly start on Wednesday. But I mentioned a lot of the day at the moment looking dry. Some rain expected perhaps later and then into the end of the working week. So worth keeping an eye on the forecast for any rain. That's it.
Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
Sally, you've been busy today, haven't you? What else have you been up to?
Well, if you had to think of a classic Christmas story, what would it be? Not the Nativity.
Christmas Carol, yeah. Nativity.
Not that one.
Christmas Carol.
10 points to you. That is the correct answer. Yes. So Sadler's Wells East recently opened in Stratford. So for their new first Christmas show, what have they chosen? An old classic, A Christmas Carol, but with a hip-hop twist to it, and they've used a London legend in the dance world, in the world of hip-hop dance, to choreograph it. So here's Rhymes with her little hint of A Christmas Carol.
From Ebenezer to Ebony, from prose to hip-hop. This is A Christmas Carol, just not quite as we know it. Ebony is a cold, hard fashionista created by choreographer Rhymes.
I take it Ebony Scrooge isn't the sweetest person.
Your face said it all.
No, she's not particularly kind.
But she comes good.
You'd have to watch the show.
The Dickens classic defined Christmas for Rhymes as a kid. Her mum didn't celebrate it, so she used to go to her grandma's and they'd always watch A Christmas Carol.
I just love the film, I love the meaning of it, and I love that it's bigger than Christmas, and I think
But
that
when
is
her grandmother
exactly
got dementia, Christmas changed for
bigger than
Rhymes.
And so I spent many a Christmas at home on my own, or I would sleep through the whole day. I just didn't want to be a part of it.
But there was one thing that stayed the same.
Even the times when it wasn't like a joyous time and I'd sleep throughout the whole day, I'd get up and I'd watch A Christmas Carol.
Make way for the queen. It's an outfit, check the standard routine.
So when she got asked to do the very first Christmas show at Sadler's Wells East, it had to be one of her favourite stories in one of her favourite styles.
What do you think Charles Dickens would think of Christmas Carol with a hip-hop twist?
I mean, do you know, I think Charles would be down. I think he'd want to come and I think he'd enjoy it himself. I think he'd say, I'd like this. I'm in with this one.
Leah Hill, who recently worked on Wicked, plays the lead.
Do we hear the words bar humbug?
We do hear the words bar humbug, but I'm not giving anything away. You have to come and watch it.
Really?
You have to come and see it.
What would your grandma make of this?
Oh, I think she'd probably be correcting some things and be like, that doesn't sound right or whatever. But actually, I think she would love it.
Ebenezer Scrooge opens this week and is sure to bring some Christmas spirit with a twist. Sally Williams, ITV News, Stratford.
Finally, could the original Queen lineup make a comeback with a little help from AI? Guitarist Brian May has hinted it might just happen. It's the kind of magic which made the ABBA Voyage show a huge success when they used holograms for the original band members. Here's Laura Jones now on the tech helping bands live forever.
Open your eyes.
Their faces peer out the dark, delivering a tune that would thrill millions. Soon, a fantasy for many fans could become a reality. Queen has used videos of Freddie Mercury like this one in its live shows for decades to honour its legendary frontman. But in an interview with The Big Issue, Brian May said they're exploring AI technology to bring the original band back to the stage. It would be creating Queen as if we were creating it today, May said. I'm very taken with the idea that we can be the original Queen again. They'd be following in the footsteps of Swedish superstars ABBA. Their ABBA Voyage experience opened in Stratford 3 years ago. It features avatars of the singers as they appeared in 1979. Last year, it sold more than 1 million tickets. Other bands have used tech to bring back key members too. During his Glastonbury headline set in 2022, Paul McCartney virtually duetted with John Lennon. And Pink Floyd is reportedly up for creating an immersive experience at the Sphere in Las Vegas.
And that's it from us. The evening news is next with Charlotte. But for now, from all of us on the London team, have a nice evening. Bye-bye.